Feminism's ultimate goal is to make itself redundant. So the hope is to get to a world where we no longer have to be labeled feminists because the world would be gender equal. And for that to happen, we need to have as many people on board as possible. And often my question is, what's the point? Is it about being part of this sort of special party that's exclusive and we can all get to be a little self-righteous about being better than other people? Or is it about changing the world? And if it is about changing the world, then how do we get there? So for example, I think there are many, many young people all over the world today who are labeling themselves feminist, thinking about gender, even becoming aware that gender is a problem because Beyonce had that song.
Feminist, a person who believes in the social, political, and economic equality of the sexes.
You wake up, post up, round in it, flossing on it.
In the book, you say, and I'm just quoting, feminism and femininity are not mutually exclusive. When there was a controversy in the last few days about Emma Watson, the actor, posing in a pretty revealing outfit in Vanity Fair, was that feminism, do you think?
Oh yes, of course, because it was her choice and because she's a woman who is in a position to have a choice. There are women who might do that, but if it's coerced or if they're doing it from a place of no power, then it's questionable. But clearly, I mean, it's a choice that she's made. And for me, what's even more troubling is that idea. There's a kind of puritanical strain in certain ideas of what feminism is that I find very worrying because it means that women cannot be sexual beings. What this is really is about that a woman is either the slut or she's the serious person. And you have to choose. And I really quarrel with that. I really quarrel with that binary. Women have to be allowed to be many things. And so the idea that a woman has sort of posed in a way that's sexually provocative, it means she can't be taken seriously, I think is deeply misogynistic.
Staying with this issue of feminism, femininity, does it matter how you've arrived at being a woman? I mean, for example, if you're a trans woman who grew up identifying as a man, who grew up enjoying the privileges of being a man, does that take away from becoming a woman? Are you any less of a real woman?
So when people talk about, are trans women, my feeling is trans women are trans women. And I think if you've lived in the world as a man, with the privileges that the world accords to men, and then sort of switch gender, it's difficult for me to accept that then we can equate your experience with the experience of a woman who has lived from the beginning in the world as a woman and who has not been accorded those privileges that men are. I don't think it's a good thing to conflate everything into one. I don't think it's a good thing to talk about women's issues being exactly the same as the issues of trans women. What I'm saying is that gender is not biology. Gender is sociology.
I think I'm right in saying that several hundred, maybe 200 Chibok girls are still in captivity. Do you think, are you worried that the world has sort of forgotten about their plight, that things have moved on?
No, I'm not. And I also think it's important to say that the Chibok girls in particular got all that attention, but there are many, many other people who were kidnapped by Boko Haram, murdered by them, and I sometimes wish that they too would get some attention.
Finally, you're talking at the weekend about feminism at the WOW Festival at South Bank. The world has kind of made you this feminist cheerleader. Is it a role that you embrace wholeheartedly?
No. It's a role that makes me cringe most of the time.
Why is that?
Well, now I get sent every book that has anything to do with gender. I mean, I joke about how now even books about gardening, somebody will send it to me and say, well, it's a metaphor for gender relations, the roses and the lilies. But I don't feel that I'm the authority on feminism, and I don't necessarily want to be. So I like to think of myself as a storyteller who, from time to time, will talk about what she's passionate about, which is feminism.
Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, thank you very much.
Thank you.